part 3 of the Santa ornament carving. We're going to be painting on this one. But I've noticed that my videos have been getting longer and longer, and I've cut out a lot to shorten them up to keep them manageable for both of us. I mentioned earlier on that I don't really want to get into making these instructional videos, just more demo, and I really just want to share my art. Maybe sometime in the future, if I get enough requests, then we'll do a full-blown instructional video, and that'll have to be multiple parts, obviously, because it'll take hours to get through an instructional video. I also mentioned that I want to start incorporating some of my other activities. I'm a multi-dimensional artist. I carve, I paint, I draw, I'm a bird photographer, and I want to include more of that. Also some drone footage. So with this video, I've not only cut it down quite a bit, I'm going to start adding some bird photos. These were taken this last year. And with the nesting season coming upon us, I'll be out there again, so maybe I'll start using outdoor footage for my intros. One of my daily activities is to challenge myself to draw daily, and I did that for the whole last year of 2024, the whole year. And I've hit every day this year so far in 2025. It's somewhere around the 19th or 20th of February. So I'm going to start throwing in a few quick dad jokes that I've drawn here and there to kind of liven things up a little bit, or help hold interest maybe. Easter eggs to find throughout the videos. So let's get on with it. Okay, so now I've got some creases in his hat here. Give it a little character so it doesn't look just plain, and I'm pretty much done now. I've got the ball done. I think that's all I'm going to do on the ball. But everything else is all carved and ready to go. So the next step is clean up this mess on my bench, break out the paints. I'm going to start off by putting a coating of sealant on this guy. I'll go ahead and cover this guy up with one coating. I like to charge the brush and then wipe it off. Get a little bit of water on there that helps the paint to flow a little better. Alright, so we're just gonna, ha! That ain't supposed to happen. Alright. Start by painting the whites of his eyes, and it's gonna need 2 coats because it's so transparent. Try not to go outside the lines, but if you have to, you can always carve it off. Or if you're going to be using a darker color, you can, well, actually, a lot of these paints are transparent. Or maybe not transparent, but you can see through them. Try to keep in the lines. Let that dry and then put on another coat, and we'll be back. My next color is going to be the medium shade of blue, and I'm going to have his eyes looking to his left. So we're going to, and this will probably take more than one coat too. I have there we go. I think that'll work. All right. All right, now I'm a darkest color, the darkest blue. This one's going to be tricky because I got to use 2 brushes. One is a flat. It's probably too big, but I don't have a smaller flat. And this will be used to help blend in the paint a little bit while while it's still wet. So just gonna create a little shadow here. Hope my glasses aren't in the way. Create a little shadow just on the colored part. Blend that in a little bit. I'm just creating a bit of a shadow under the eyebrow. Next, I'm going to take the lighter or the medium blue and mix it a little bit with the white. And tap around. Next, I'm going to use black for the pupil. Next, I'm taking a little raw umber and some clear acrylic and thinning it down just a little bit. And this will be now the I'm going to use the lash line right here on the chip. There's a little dimension to his eyes. Now, the last thing to do, the eyes, is add a little highlight. My hands aren't as steady as they used to be, but you get the idea. I hit the face with some burnt umber mixed with a little bit of clear medium, and then darkened it up, the darker part under the cheeks, the lip, the nose. So, next we're using white and raw umber for the beard and the mustache. The next step is to take a darker mixture of white and I believe it's raw umber. Yep, raw umber. And we're going to start putting it in areas where we want a little more shadowy stuff. I like to go a short distance and then take our other brush and kind of dab at the edges so that it doesn't look like it's a straight line. It's hard to see the shadowing, but it's just slightly darker, and it'll be more noticeable once you saw it in person. All right, so I got ahead of myself a little bit. I did get some shadowing into, but I need to do some more shadowing in some of these deeper cracks and crevices here, or nooks and crannies. But I forgot to do the hat, the button on the top, and the collar. So I need to clean these brushes off a little bit. Now I'm going to use a little lighter white than I used on this, lighter color. It's still going to be the burnt umber, raw umber. I'll put this over here to keep it separate. And white. And I want it to be just kind of an off-white. I don't want it to be a dark white. And 3 colors. It may not be that obvious, but your eyes will pick up on it. It'll register in your brain as something different. It just gives it, like I said, a little more depth. Next step, we're going to do a little dry brushing. I'm going to take that little stencil tool or a brush or any stiff bristled brush that you might have with short bristles. And we're just going to take some white, dab it on our paper towel. Because we don't want it thick, we don't want to brush it and fill in all that. We just want to go brush across the tops. This will be our highlight. And that'll leave little darker indentations on the fur collar, the hair, the beard, mustache, all of those things. So we'll just brush across the top like this. Try not to fill in the cracks and crevices. Just want to brush across the top. Dry brushing. Dry brush, no water. See how that, I don't know if you can see that or not. You can still see the dark areas, and then brushing across the tops of the whites. You can see the effect a little bit, maybe. I don't know if the camera picks it up. But you can see the darks and the mediums and the highlights, mostly in the beard and the mustache. The only thing left to paint now is the hat. So I'm going to start off with the lightest of the 3 shades of color, of red. And I'm using Georgia clay. You can use whatever you want, just make sure you've got 3 different shades, light, medium, and dark. Shake it. First one we'll use where the hat meets the brim, and then we'll tap it out because we don't want any hard edges. But I always wet your brushes. Dry them off a little bit before using them. Now it's go only short distances. This is where I'm at so far. Next I'm going to take the black cherry, which is the darkest red of the 3 that we're going to use. And I'm going to just go around the edges and tap it out again. You want to smooth it out. You don't want hard, straight edges. But anywhere, usually you want to go anywhere where there's 2 different colors touching each other. And then we'll also go down, we'll spread a little bit out in here, give it a little depth in the shadows. I thinned it down almost to the consistency of Kool-Aid. Tap it out so that you don't have a hard edge. Now, the thing about acrylic paint is that it'll dry darker than when you apply it. And I don't know if anybody caught it, but I screwed up. Instead of I should have used the medium color of red, which was tomato red, and I used the lightest color of red. So what I'm going to do is take the lightest and then add a little bit of white to it and use that for the highlight. See how that turns out. You know, there's always a quick fix, or there's always a fix to making mistakes. You don't have to carve it off or paint over it again, because the more you paint it, the more it will look like plastic because of the acrylic paint. I want this to look more old-timey, folk-arty, aged. So let's see if that will work. Again, we're using the stencil brush, and we're just going to lightly, very lightly this time, because we don't have any deep edges. But it'll help bring out those knife cuts. That's why I don't sand my carvings, because I like the rough nature of it, the folk art and the old-timey look. By rubbing over it a little bit, it looks like the edges are worn from kids handling it over the years. And it just gives it a little extra dimension instead of looking at something that's painted in a solid bright red or other color. And also, don't forget to sign your carvings. Find a little spot off to the side. Put your initials or your name and the date. You've got yourself a little Santa Claus ornament. Thanks again for dropping in. Let me know in the comments below if you'd like to see the bird photos and the dad jokes. Here are a couple of links to my first two videos in this series. And once again, get off my lawn.